Is it improving the academic rating and the test scores, the number of students graduating and going to college? Those are the bottom line, and that's what we should be most concerned with. Okay, and the very bottom, on the back page, I'm sorry. If you look at the total revenue per pupil that this school district gets from the state, $9,601 per pupil, and of that, only $4,902, less than half of the revenue this district gets per pupil is actually spent in the classroom on educating students. More than half of it goes elsewhere. I don't know where the elsewhere is, I can't tell you off the top of my head, but this is something that I'd like for you to take with you and look at this and start asking questions of your school district, of your elected officials, of your school board, of your superintendent, of the school budget officer, and get educated, because this is a lot of your tax money right here. And is it being used to the best that it could be used? And finally, we always include this at the very bottom, the superintendent's salary, Bobby Rice, his base pay is $94,500. It's actually on the low end for superintendents in Texas, but it's still a lot of money, almost $100,000. And that number does not include any benefits or perks he might get, like a retirement or membership fees that are paid for. Sometimes school districts buy them a car. You know, there's a lot of perks in addition to just this base pay. So, what? He's gone? Okay. This is from the Texas Education Agency website. This is the latest information they have. So, if there's somebody new there, then they haven't updated it on the website. So, that takes me back to the point of we need people who are paying attention at the local level. And
He's a smaller fish.
It doesn't mean that this has to be the same people going to the same meetings all the time. You know, you get burned out. But if you team up, if one of you volunteers to go to the monthly city council meeting, and one person volunteers, I'm going to go to the school board, and one person volunteers to go to the county commissioners court meetings and just see what's going on, you'd be surprised at how much and how much of an impact you can make to benefit the taxpayers right here in Trinity County. And when you do that, people recognize that, your elected officials see that, your state legislators see that, your congressman sees that, they know who you are. And this is true because we work with groups all over Texas, and the ones that are most active in their community have the most clout with the rest of their elected officials. You know, and they're doing a great job, and they're recognizing the community for the great job they're doing to save taxpayers' money. So I want to finish up. And I don't have very many of these, so if you're here with somebody, if you don't mind sharing, I'm going to leave you with a list of 8 ways that you all can make a difference right here where you are. Yes, sir.
Can I say one thing?
Sure thing. Oh yeah. He said it, one of the best examples, and he's absolutely right. Keeping up with your elected officials is Bell, California. Who hasn't heard of what's going on in Bell, California? This is the city where the city manager is earning $900 and something thousand annually. City manager, very small community, and they've been tremendously affected by the economic downturn. The police chief there is earning almost $500,000 a year. That's $150,000, almost $200,000 more than the police chief of Los Angeles earns. And this is little bitty Bell County, California. And it's because, and they said this on the radio today, it's because the voters were not paying attention. That they were able to get away with this and get away with it for so long. And thankfully, it wasn't covered, and most of the folks who are involved are facing criminal charges. But we really can never be too relaxed. We can never say, well, we've elected a good guy, he's my neighbor, he's my friend, I know him, he's going to do a good job. You have to pay attention. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay, and the last little handout I have for you, 8 ways that you can make a difference. And on the back of this, we have a little bit more about Americans for Prosperity. The number 1 way you can make a difference is know who your elected officials are and stay in contact with them about the issues you care about. So write to them, go to meetings, introduce yourself to them. If you can make it down to Austin, say hello to them there, but your state elected officials should have an office right here in town or very close, you know, within driving distance. Get to know who they are, get to know their staff, call them, have their phone numbers. a good place to, if you're not sure where to look, I'll give you a website. It's called FYI, like for your information, .LEGIS .state .tx .us. This is an official state website. That's why it has this ridiculously long website. It's FYI .LEGIS, as in legis, short for the legislature. LEGIS .state .tx .us. And if you go there and type in your zip code and your address, you do a search, it'll come up with who your senator is, who your congressman is, who your state state representative is, who your state senator is, who your state board of education member is. These are all really important people to know. And not only will they come up with their names, but their phone numbers, their office locations, their websites, their email addresses. Every way you need to get in touch with your elected officials is right there. For the state level and up. Now for the local level, that's all on you. You know, see if your city council has a website. And if they don't, find City Hall, find out when the meetings are. They have to be posted 72 hours ahead of time. And it's the same for your school district and for your county government too. Okay, so know your elected officials. Number 2 is write letters to the editor of your local newspaper. And if they have online comments or a place to leave, comments online, leave comments there. And this has been really effective. We found this when people, if there's a big issue in your area that you want to talk about, a local election, for example, and you support your candidate and you want everybody else to know why, when more and more people, when large groups of people start writing letters to the editor, they publish those. And that influences the community. When they're reading that, they're seeing a number of people weighing in on an issue in a certain way, so that makes a difference. Not all of us live in an area where the newspapers are sympathetic to our point of view, and so we encourage people to go online and make comments there. And I know this is number 8, we say blog. This is fine. And how many people have a blog or visited a blog and know what a blog is? Okay, few of us. That's fine. That's fine. A blog is simply a website, and most of them are free and really simple to set up. We encourage people to be adventurous, take the plunge, and start a blog that talks about what's happening in your own community. There are blogs that exist for federal issues, for news, for whatever you can even imagine. But there are very few people who have a blog talking about what's happening in their own city, in their own community. And when those start up, we find they get a lot of traction. A lot of people want to read about it, see what's going on, and weigh in. And people, your elected officials, notice what people are talking about, where people are going, and it influences public opinion in a really good way right here in our community. So that's one thing we really encourage people to do. Yes?
Bring up something on the sending a note or an email. Keep it less than 2 paragraphs. By all means, send a note less than that.
Yeah, keep it very, very short. Short and stick to one topic. Right. If you start going off on 3 or 4 things, you've lost the reader, and you're not able to make your point clearly enough. So stick to one topic and keep it short and simple. That's a really good one. Number 3 on here is calls to radio talk shows. A lot of areas out here in East Texas, I know there are quite a few AM radio stations where they have maybe local hosts certain times of the day, certain days of the week. Call those people. Weigh in with your opinions on these local issues. That's a really good area of influence. They probably don't get a lot of regular callers, so if you call them on a regular basis, they're more likely to let you in and hear what you have to say and broadcast your opinion on this very important views to thousands of people in the listening area. So go to their website and find their phone number and make a point to call in. Number 4, very important, and I think Aaron will like this one. Volunteer on campaigns. I can't say this enough. The better you know your elected officials, the more likely you are to have their ear. If you volunteer for campaigns, sacrifice for them, support people who support the views that you hold, that you believe in, they're going to notice that. And when you write a letter and say, I volunteered and I got you elected, they're going to pay attention to what you're saying. If they realize the the sacrifice you make for them, and they're going to be more likely to listen. But secondly, if you want to get conservatives elected, you can't just sit back and do nothing. You really need to get out there. They depend, and there are so many great conservatives running in local races like